She says he threatened to blow everything up if the cops came. He told her she'd disappear if she spoke out. And for years, she stayed silent, until now. Denise Richards just dropped a legal bombshell that's shaking Hollywood. A temporary restraining order, accusations of chilling abuse, secret recordings, and a marriage that behind closed doors was nothing like the glossy photos and red carpet smiles. This isn't just another celebrity split. What's coming out in court now, allegedly, has left even her closest friends stunned. So what really happened between Denise Richards and Aaron Phypers? Why is she only speaking up now? And what does it reveal about the dark side of fame, control, and fear? Let's break it all down, from the court filings to the disturbing resurfaced footage and the terrifying warnings she says she lived with every day. The legal documents are hard to read, not just because of the allegations, but because of the sheer detail. In the court filing, Denise Richards describes a marriage filled with fear, not arguments, not rough patches. She alleges years of calculated, terrifying violence. And she brought receipts. She claims Aaron Phypers would choke her violently, not once, repeatedly, slam her head into the bathroom towel rack, dig his knee into her back while she pleaded for him to stop. She says he slapped her face and head, squeezed her arms tightly, and once screamed degrading insults just inches from her face, all while threatening to break her jaw, promising to get help and, according to her, never following through. But it doesn't stop there. Denise says she suffered at least 3 concussions during their 6-year marriage. And when it came to reporting the abuse, she didn't dare, because she claims he repeatedly threatened to kill himself and her if she ever told anyone. She told the court that Aaron hacked her devices, copying her private texts, accessing her laptop while she slept, and confronting her over things he claimed to find. In one incident, she says he smashed her on the head with his palm while screaming, "Give me your effing phone." This wasn't a single outburst. According to Denise, it was a pattern, and it escalated with time. But the most chilling part? She says he promised she'd vanish if she went to the police. Not metaphorically, literally. And all of it allegedly happened while the cameras were off, while the world saw something entirely different. It wasn't just the physical violence that Denise Richards says left her shaken. It was the sense that she was never alone. That even when Aaron wasn't in the room, he was still watching. According to her court testimony, the abuse extended deep into her digital life. Denise claims Aaron would wait until she fell asleep and then quietly access her laptop and phone, copying entire conversations, downloading her private messages and storing them on his own devices. She says she'd wake up to him screaming in her face, furious over texts he had read without her knowledge. One night, she alleges, he flew into a rage after digging through her phone. Then, as she sat on the toilet, he slammed the palm of his hand into her head, shouting, "Give me your FFFF phone." But this wasn't about one argument. It was about control. Denise says Aaron monitored her travel, restricted her independence, and refused to let her go on trips alone. On one occasion, she says he grabbed her by the hair, slammed her to the ground, and yelled, "You are not cancelling my flight. I'm going with you. I don't trust you." The accusations paint a terrifying picture, one where personal space didn't. By this point, the emotional and physical abuse Denise Richards described was harrowing on its own, but what she revealed next made everything even more terrifying. Just days after the alleged July 4th attack, Aaron Phypers made his own move. On July 7th, he filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences and marking their official separation as, ironically, July 4th, the same day Denise says the violence hit its peak. And while the divorce paperwork seemed routine on the surface, what came next was anything but. By July 16th, Denise Richards had gone to court with a stack of allegations so explosive the media couldn't look away. She wasn't just asking for a divorce, she was asking for protection. The restraining order she requested was granted the same day, forcing Aaron to stay at least 100 yards away from her at all times. She also demanded He return her laptop, stop sharing or copying her personal files, and pay for her legal expenses. And then came the backlash. As the filings went public, a clip began circulating from The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, a scene where Aaron, visibly irritated, tells Denise,
"Don't try me, I will crush your hand."
What once may have seemed like on-screen drama now played like a terrifying foreshadowing. Online, the response was swift. Fans were divided, some in disbelief, others furious that warning signs had been there all along, masked as passion or edgy reality TV. Aaron Phypers, for his part, denied all the allegations. He claimed Denise's story was fabricated and filed for spousal support, stating he had no income. But for Denise, the public spectacle wasn't the focus. It was safety. And after 6 years of what she described as abuse, this was her first step in finally reclaiming it. In her court declaration, Denise claimed that Aaron Phypers wasn't just violent. He was armed. She told the court he owned at least 8 unregistered firearms and multiple bulletproof vests, not locked away, not disclosed, allegedly unregistered and kept without oversight. And in that environment, surrounded by weapons, she says the threats escalated. He didn't just say he'd hurt her. According to Denise, Aaron made her believe she could simply vanish. "You'll disappear if you call the police." That was the line that stuck with her. The one she says echoed in her head every time she considered reaching out for help. It wasn't just about physical harm anymore. It was about power, psychological warfare, the fear that no one would hear her scream, the fear that he'd carry out his threats and no one would know what happened until it was too late. Even more disturbing, she alleges he regularly threatened to take both their lives if she spoke out. Not just kill her, but kill himself too. A chilling, manipulative tactic that made her feel trapped in silence. This wasn't just a crumbling marriage. Denise paints the picture of a war zone, one where the enemy wasn't outside, but inside her home, armed, angry, and watching. Seems tell, he's spoken from challenges, and freedom was something she had to fight for. Her home, her devices, her movements, all allegedly tracked and controlled. And it was this obsession with control, Denise says, that left her constantly on edge, wondering when the next outburst would come, and whether she'd ever truly feel safe in her own home again. To many on the outside, the question seemed obvious. Why didn't she leave? Why didn't she tell someone sooner? But Denise Richards had an answer, one that reveals just how deep the fear ran. According to her court filing, every time she considered going to the police, Aaron would threaten to end his own life, or hers, sometimes both. And it wasn't just a one-time outburst. Denise says this became a pattern, an emotional straitjacket designed to keep her quiet, one terrifying promise after another. If you report me, I'll kill myself. If you tell anyone, you'll disappear. For Denise, the danger wasn't just physical, it was psychological warfare, the kind that makes you second-guess your instincts, your memories, even your own safety plan. She says she feared calling for help would only trigger something worse, that seeking protection could put her in even greater danger. This is the part that's hardest for the public to grasp, because the bruises might fade, but the threats linger. The guilt, the confusion, the shame. Victims are often asked, why didn't you just leave? But the real question is, what were they made to believe would happen if they did? Denise's story echoes what thousands of survivors quietly live through, trapped not just by a person, but by fear of what that person might do if they break the silence. And for years, she didn't. Until now. The restraining order might be temporary, but what's coming next could change everything. A court hearing is scheduled for August 8th, where a judge will decide whether to extend the protective order or let it expire. Denise is requesting more than just distance. She's asking the court to force Aaron to hand over any content he may have taken from her phone or laptop, and she's demanding that he be legally barred from sharing it, copying it, or even printing it. She's also pushing for something much more long-term, a 52-week batterer intervention program, a full year of mandatory rehabilitation if the court finds merit in her claims. That's not just a protective measure, it's a direct call for accountability. Meanwhile, Aaron Phypers is standing his ground. He denies all the abuse allegations and is asking for spousal support, claiming he's financially dependent. That means this isn't just a domestic violence case. It's about money, assets, public image and control. The court will have to sift through evidence, sworn statements, digital footprints, and years of alleged manipulation. And for Denise Richards, this isn't just about divorce anymore. It's about closing the door on something far darker. But here's the truth. No matter what the legal system decides, the damage is done. The public now sees a side of this relationship that was never meant to be visible. And it's raising questions about how many other stories like this remain hidden behind perfect Instagram photos and reality TV smiles. Because this time, she didn't stay silent. Behind every red carpet smile, every picture-perfect Instagram post, every magazine headline about Hollywood's strongest couples, there's a story the world never sees. For years, Denise Richards and Aaron Phypers looked like a power couple. From reality TV appearances to public declarations of love, everything seemed solid. But according to Denise, what was really happening behind closed doors was something no filter could hide forever. And that's the danger of public personas. They create illusions. They convince fans, friends, even family that everything is fine, while behind the scenes, someone might be suffering in silence. Smiling through fear, performing stability while living in chaos. This case isn't just about one celebrity. It's a brutal reminder of how power and control can hide in plain sight. How abuse isn't always obvious bruises or screaming matches. Sometimes it's control over your phone, over your travel, over your voice, over your life. And when the person controlling you is charismatic, admired or influential, speaking out becomes even harder. Denise's story, if proven true, isn't just about survival. It's about reclaiming power that was stolen piece by piece. It's about refusing to be silent, even when the cost is high. Because the truth is, stories like this don't just happen to celebrities, they happen everywhere. And the more we recognize the signs, the harder it becomes for people like Aaron, allegedly, to stay hidden behind charm and celebrity. She once called him her protector. Today, she calls him her greatest fear. Denise Richards waited 6 years to say what she says she couldn't before, and whether a courtroom finds him guilty or not, she's already taken back something he allegedly tried to take from her every day, her voice. This story isn't about gossip. It's about recognizing what control can look like when it's hidden behind charm. It's about understanding why victims stay silent, and why speaking out, when you're scared for your life, takes more strength than most people will ever understand. So here's the real question. How many other stories like this are still being kept quiet, right now, behind closed doors? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Have you ever seen signs like this in a relationship, on or off screen? And if this video made you look at things differently, hit that like button to push this story into more people's feeds. More untold stories, more truth, coming soon. So don't forget to subscribe, because sometimes the biggest red flags are the ones nobody wants to talk about.